Good evening. Welcome to another live edition of For FSU Weather.
That's right. We begin tonight with weather history in the making. Super Typhoon Haiyan in the Western Pacific is bearing down on the Philippines.
That's right, Ryan. As of a 4 o'clock advisory local time for us, Hurricane Haiyan has sustained winds up to 195 miles per hour.
195 miles per hour with gusts over 200 miles per hour. That's well into the Category 5 strength for the Atlantic hurricanes. Now, typhoons in the Western Pacific aren't categorized like hurricanes in the Atlantic, but if we were to compare this to an Atlantic hurricane, this would be what we'd call a Category 5.
It's a very big storm that will bring some devastating wind, rain, and storm surge to the Philippines and the rest of Southeast Asia.
That's right. It is making landfall as we speak near the island of Samar, which is on the eastern central part of the Philippines. A station on that island, Guion, last reported sustained winds at 96 miles per hour, with gusts over 100. Now, the island of Samar alone is home to 1.8 million people, and this storm is going to impact even more in terms of scope.
Yes, it's going to be a big storm. If you've seen any satellite imagery of the storm, the typhoon has a very well-developed eye with a symmetric storm, so all around it are a lot of storm clouds that will bring some devastating thunderstorms to the area. But we're going to send things back locally with Pete.
Hey, thanks guys. Truly a colossal storm there out in the West Pacific, but we'll bring it back a little bit locally here for our own weather headlines in the Tallahassee region. Well, clear and cold Friday. Those warm temperatures we saw today, they're leaving. An extended dry weekend moving into our long weekend, Veterans Day coming up on Monday, and way in the future, perhaps our first freeze of the season, but that's not until maybe 7 days ahead, so a lot can change till then. Let's take a look at our current temperatures right around the region. We'll pull that right up for you. Find the front. Well, you can tell 70s right here from Albany to Tallahassee, drops off quickly to 50s and 60s behind that front, so that's knocking on our doorstep. Going to be arriving later on tonight. So overnight tonight, you can expect 46, a little bit cool, a little bit breezy, and expecting those mid-40s, so those clouds should clear out of the area and should be a rather pleasant night moving into your weekend. Keep that jacket though, as those north winds kick up to about 10 miles an hour. But for right now, let's send it on back to the desk.
Back to Super Typhoon Haiyan. Millions of people, again, as we were saying, are going to be impacted. Tremendous surge in excess of 20 to 30 feet possible along coastal areas of the Philippines. Also, a large area of intense winds over 100 miles per hour, as max sustained winds are at almost 200 miles per hour.
Yes, the storm hasn't quite made landfall, but some of the outer bands are starting to get into the Philippine Islands. We're expecting landfall for Super Typhoon Haiyan to be Friday evening for the Philippines, which will be locally Friday morning for us.
That's right. Crossing the eastern and western Visayas, those are two regions in the Philippines, staying south of the well-known city of Manila, Philippines, but still impacts to millions of people, and unfortunately an area that is not a stranger to disaster.
Yeah, after it makes landfall, it will continue to be a very strong storm, might be downgraded to a Category 4 in our terms, but it will stay in the Southeast Agency and will start making its way towards Vietnam. But we're going to send things back out to the wall with Troy.
Alrighty, thank you guys at the desk, and we're going to show you what's going on currently across the Big Bend region, and we're sitting at a temperature of 71 degrees, and coupled with overcast conditions. You know, we've really been seeing that pretty much all day, and especially the latter half of the day, and these overcast, cloudy skies have really helped to keep our temperatures from getting too much warmer. And as to why that's been happening, as we show you in our satellite and radar, you see this little line of little showers draped across the east coast of Florida. That's associated with a cold front. As I step on the other side of the screen, you can see clearly where that cold front is right over us in the Tallahassee region. And fortunately, it lost quite a bit of its punch as it moved into the region. So fortunately, we haven't seen that amount of showers as it could have been earlier, but still, you know, the possibility of a shower, so really it's not that far out of the region. So really, just if you're going for any outdoor activities, just to make sure you have an umbrella in handy. And we're going to zoom in locally just to show you once again, you know, really across the Tallahassee region, a little bit of a showers popping up, but for the most part, things are looking very dry across the Tallahassee area. Now, as far as dew points is concerned, remember, dew point is a good indicator of how much moisture there is in our atmosphere. And you can see it's a little bit more humid out today, especially with that extra cloud cover that was lingering over our area pretty much for over the past 24 hours. You can see dew points are in the 60s, so that means it's a little bit more muggy outside, but that's going to change once that cold front passes all the way through. And to illustrate that further is our winds coming out of the northwest, and rather breezy speeds at that too. So once that northwest wind settles in and once that cold front really passes on through, it's really going to help to lower our humidity values and in turn help to cool down our temperatures. And to illustrate that even more through our futurecast, you can see going into tonight, Thursday night, you see this cold front that's straight across the southeast, and it's going to pass on by as we extend out towards Thursday night. Going to Friday, and high pressure will begin to build in across much of the region, and it's going to really be the major influence in the weather pretty much for the next 24 to 48 hours. And that high pressure is going to lead some cool and calm conditions. So as we extend out through the day on Saturday, it will warm up a little bit, but for the most part, it's going to be really beautiful and plentiful. So if you have any plans on Saturday, just just really go out, and I highly encourage you to do that. Beach forecast tomorrow is going to be very nice, a little bit breezy at that, so just make sure you have that jacket in handy. Tonight's forecast, 46 degrees, breezy, very cold, so really going to want to have that winter jacket in deck. Now, tomorrow's forecast, 71 degrees is tomorrow's high temperature, so another sunny and breezy cold day. And extend out for your 7-day forecast for the weekend. It looks very good with temperatures in the 70s with lows in the 40s. And we will warm up through the middle of the week with back to seasonable levels, but look at that. We'll cool right back down for the middle, late part of next week. Hand it off to Tawana with your southeast.
Thank you so much, Troy. That front that Troy was talking about, that's bringing us that cooler weather, those drier conditions, has caused a drastic temperature change across the southeast. 17-degree drop in temperature in Montgomery alone. So it's definitely, that cold front is definitely just bringing in the colder and drier temperatures. But for now, we're going to have a little bit of rain in the forecast. We have that chance of showers coming in to the rest of the night, but by tomorrow we should dry out and it will be absolutely gorgeous. Satellite and radar is showing that the showers have slowly just scooted through our area, giving us some more clear conditions. We did have slightly overcast skies, but by midnight tonight that should all be out of the way, and dry conditions would be here for the week and for the next week. But for today's high temperatures, we maxed out here in Tallahassee, 82 degrees. Kind of warm for this time of year. So we're going to be happier to have the cooler temperatures, and it's going to actually feel like winter and fall again. 65 right now due to that cold front moving past in Montgomery. A little bit cooler in Tupelo at 58, and Little Rock is just cooling all out at 60 degrees. Around the southeast right now, the temperatures a little bit lower, 71 here in Tallahassee, clear skies in Montgomery with a current condition of 57, and Atlanta is sitting at 53. Dew points, due to that cold front moving through, you can see exactly where the front is. The front is just bringing that moisture on ahead of it and drying out behind of it. So those drier temperatures and conditions are definitely sitting behind that front and waiting to come on into Tallahassee. So we will be experiencing that in the next couple days. This blue represents that frost warning. So they're feeling those cold temperatures into the next couple days. So they will have that frost on their cars and on trees, and definitely bringing in those pets and plants. Futurecast showing that abundant sunshine in the next couple of days. Nothing to worry about. And for tonight, low of 46. And for tomorrow, high of 71. Definitely cooler, but we'll send it back to the desk with Jack and Ryan.
We'll take it back to the Philippines now. More continuing coverage on Super Typhoon Haiyan. Again, an area that is no stranger to typhoons or earthquakes. Last year, a similar situation with Super Typhoon Bopha, where 1,100 people were killed and hundreds of thousands were displaced.
Yes, and also we're expecting Super Typhoon Haiyan to make landfall. There was an earthquake there earlier in October that was a magnitude of 7.1 on the Richter scale, which killed up to 150 people. So some more bad times coming, unfortunately, to the Philippines.
That's right. And to put things in comparison as to how strong this typhoon really is, central pressure estimated by satellite at 858 millibars We will see if that holds up. Again, that is satellite estimated, but comparing that, the strongest storm on record in the entire world as for typhoons, hurricanes, was Typhoon Tip in 1979 at 870 millibars. So this would be stronger if this number holds up, but a record setter nonetheless.
Yes, this typhoon could be a record breaker, but we're going to send things to Bella as she takes us around the nation.
Thank you very much, guys. Here we're going to look across the nation, and we're going to see that there are several frost advisories in the state of Alabama here. Much to worry about as those plants are going to be affected by that cold weather. But we're going to shift things over to much of the southeast is clear, with the exception of those frost advisories over most of Alabama, parts of Georgia. Off into the northwest, though, however, there is a wind warning, high wind warning in Wyoming and also in parts of Montana. And that winter weather advisory is into parts of Washington, Wyoming, and again into parts of Montana. We're going to take things onto satellite and radar of the nation. We will see mostly clear across the heartland. Parts of the northwest are getting rain and snow because of the cooler temperatures and the higher elevations this time of year. But we are going to look across to the east. That front that was coming through, bringing in those clouds this morning and a little bit of clouds tonight, is going to be pushing through. Not much to worry about there, but we are going to zoom in and see that Florida, those showers are dissipating as that front dissipates and heads off of the Atlantic coast. But we're going to take it up to the north and see that there is a little bit of showers and a little bit of storms pushing off that they saw earlier today in places like Washington, D.C. and New York. But they should be seeing clearer temperatures and clearer weather tonight. We take it off to the northwest. As I said, they're going to be seeing some snow as over the Cascade Mountains. As the storm rises in elevation, it becomes a little bit cooler. But down on the coast near Seattle, a lot more rainfall and precipitation that they have to see there, floods possibly. But as we take a closer look in, we see again the snow over the Cascade Mountains. Now we're going to see our current conditions in over the nation. 49 in Kansas City, 34 in Minneapolis, quite chilly up there. A little bit warmer down in New Orleans. It's 62 degrees. But we're going to take things back. We're going to send things off to the next segment. How are we doing with that, Jack?
All right, yeah, Nina, we're going to go down to our local segment, and we're going to raise my camera height so I don't look chopped off on the camera. Looking at our local radar, we had some spotty storms across the coast earlier today into Franklin County, into Alligator Point, also making some rain into southern parts of Wakulla County, but has since drifted off into the Nature Coast, and we could see some spotty showers later on tonight. By the numbers, though, what will go down in the record book, we had a high of 82 degrees. It really felt really muggy out there too because we had a lot of cloud coverage out there. We had that early morning low of up at 62 degrees with all that cloud coverage. That early morning low wasn't able to get down that low because all that radiation was kept into our area. Currently at the airport, 71 degrees, overcast skies in the area. That dew point is at 62 degrees, and we could see that dropping down into the 30-degree marks, which pretty much means it's going to be going from sticky, muggy to nice and dry. So feeling really nice out there. We could have some chillier nights ahead, though. Currently, all across the region, 68 degrees in Quincy, 72 degrees in Bainbridge, and 63 degrees in Mariana. And you can really see where this cold front's been lingering around. Warmer temperatures to our southeast, cooler temperatures to our northwest. And we'll see those temperatures as we make our way into tonight. Current winds are mainly out of the north. They're kind of gusting up there, so you're getting a little bit of a chilly breeze out there. Winds out of the north at 8 miles per hour in Tallahassee, mainly northerly wind for the whole viewing area. Boating forecast for tomorrow, not a great day to get out there. Choppy seas, waves will be kicking up 3 to 4 feet. We have a small craft advisory out there. Sunrise will be at 6:58. We're starting to lose those hours. You notice when you leave work, it's dark, it's a little depressing, but that will continue into December. Futurecast showing us that cold front earlier today will finally push off. We'll start having some clearer skies and we'll be cooler tonight. We won't have those clouds hovering above us, trapping in that heat we got today. So it's going to go up into the atmosphere, so we'll drop down into the low 40s. High pressure system will continue to build in. We'll have a nice Saturday ahead. Clear skies will have plentiful of sunshine, so looking very nice for us. Tonight's forecast calling for a low of 46 degrees, clearing overnight, cool and breezy. Have a 20% chance of rain on there. I think we've seen most of the storms today, but you can't rule out those storms lingering around the coast, but we should be mainly clear for the rest of the night. Tomorrow's forecast, struggling to get it up into the 70s. It will be breezy, so make sure you bring that light jacket, windbreaker to keep you nice and warm as you're making your way out on your early morning commute. 7-day forecast though, look at this, our weekend's looking wonderful. Highs only into the mid 70s with those lows into the 50s. But we're going to send things over to the desk with Tawana and Troy.
Alrighty, thank you, Ryan. And ooh, 34 degrees next week. That sounds kind of chilly, doesn't it, Tawana?
Absolutely terrifyingly chilly for me.
Terrifyingly
I'm not the
chilly.
biggest fan of the cold since I'm so tiny and compact, but
But are you thinking snow now?
never actually seen snow.
Well, you're going to like it, and you better love it, because, especially if you're in the Northeast, because going into the next week, they could be seeing some snow.
Yeah, that cold Arctic air might be moving in next week, bringing in those storms and almost like snow potential for the Northeast, so that's absolutely cool for them.
Exactly, and in contrast with the mild air warmer to the south that's going to be confined to the southern states, that contrast between the cold air in the north and the mild air in the southeast is really going to help, potentially energize this potential snowstorm.
So, and that cold air would most likely be around Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia around Wednesday. So that's probably the time we're going to be expecting like some storms and all that kind of stuff.
All right. But let's take it out to your wall with Alex. And Alex, I know, man, that you love snow so much, don't you, man?
Yes, if you said snow, snow is something very great. However, we don't really get that around a lot around Florida. And speaking of around Florida, we're going to take a look at a few cams around the state. Alligator Point looking mighty fine after that rain has passed. A lot of clouds still, but we're sitting at a nice, comfortable 72 degrees, and it's not looking so bad. And we go a little down south near Tampa. Over near Tampa, the cam's a little down, but pleasant conditions nonetheless. However, Anna Maria Island, also the cam is down. If we take it a little closer towards my hometown of Fort Lauderdale, wouldn't you guess it, their cameras are also down. However, current conditions looking very nice across the state as we bring the city names into effect. Over here you can see Tallahassee at 71 degrees, Tampa sitting at 75, and a little warmer down in Miami at 81 degrees as they're still seeing some cloudy conditions from the cold front. Current dew point illustrating the cold front very well. A lot of moist conditions dealing with the rain, and farther up north, those brown colors and those lower 40s, that represents the cooler and drier conditions with 45 degrees as the dew point over there. Satellite and radar showing those thin amount of showers that we had over the Big Bend region since dissipating. Once again, Tallahassee is avoiding the brunt of the weather as it tends to do so, and we're seeing a lot of clouds move away, and we're going to see those 40s once again return as the night progresses. Local radar a little closer towards home, you can see where those showers mainly impacted the southern Wakulla counties. Leon once again avoiding most of the rainfall, and we go a little closer towards Jacksonville and Gainesville, and they've been looking mighty fine as well, dry and comfortable for them as well, especially seeing as well the cold front is still kind of sort of over our area, but the rainfall has since dissipated. Futurecast radar showing this line of showers. That was the cold front, and that's going to push out of our area. A few sprinkles here or there, but we're going to stay mainly clear for the most part. Tonight's forecast, a rainbow of colors stretching from South Florida all the way to Pensacola. You can see bright oranges for the warmer temperatures and darker blues for the cooler temperatures, and we're going to be seeing these persist throughout the weekend. 74 degrees in Miami, a little warmer in West Palm Beach sitting at 75 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast calling for sunny conditions for us, a little cloudy down south. Tallahassee sitting at 71 degrees. Don't let that fool you. It's going to be a little cooler with the winds coming out of the north as well, so it's going to feel mighty fine. Jacksonville sitting at 69 degrees. Pensacola sitting at 67, and the warmest spot is going to be Fort Myers sitting at a toasty 86 degrees for this time of year. It's actually quite normal for them in the southern tip of Florida. But we're going to take it on now to a more broader look with Ryan.
Thank you, Alex. We'll look a little bit more broader across the southeast. And hey, here's the front that everybody's been talking about. Look at the dividing line in colors. Greens to the left, oranges and yellows to the right. Well, cooler temperatures to the left and warmer temperatures to the right. 57 currently in Montgomery. Sun's already gone down, and those temperatures are going to fall fast with cool air moving in behind from the northwest. Hey, to the east, 70 degrees still in Jacksonville, so almost a 20-degree difference in temperatures across the southeast right now. 71 and cloudy in Tallahassee with clouds across the middle part of the southeast. Hey, here's the front, and it kind of just fizzled today. Look at that. A nice line of showers organized moving through Atlanta. Once it got east of the Piedmont, I mean, we really looked at, just fell apart. We've still got clouds in place, though. Overall, the rain showers have kind of disintegrated, leaving a nice trail of clouds, but behind it, lots of clearing and dry air for most of the southeast, and that's going to be the dominant story over the next couple days. Rainfall, well, we didn't get a whole lot out of this, not even a tenth of an inch basically in Montgomery, a little over a tenth of an inch in Atlanta if you want to call that a little over, but you can see most of the rain exited off towards the north where the bulk of the energy with this system went, leaving the south, and rest of us, well, not a whole lot to go with it, except for the extra cloud cover, which did help to cool things off a little bit. And speaking of cooling things off, hey, here's your 24-hour temperature change. Check out behind the front, 17 degrees cooler right now than it was this time yesterday in Montgomery. Tallahassee, we haven't quite felt the effects of this cool air yet, but believe me, these purples will be moving towards the east through the night as cool air filters in for most of the southeast. Towards Gainesville, though, Jacksonville down to Orlando and Tampa, well, we're not going to see a whole lot of effect from the cooler air. The parts of the central peninsula will be staying on the warm side. Well, back behind the front where we've got the cool air in place, hey, we've got frost advisories for parts of central northern Alabama, northern Georgia, Montgomery, Birmingham, and Atlanta, all getting in on this with temperatures getting down into the mid-30s tonight. 36 for Montgomery, actually. 46 in Tallahassee, 37 in Macon. The cooler air stays off towards the northwest, a little bit more mild, relatively speaking, across the Flint River Valley from Tallahassee over towards Valdosta. 45 in Valdosta. And towards the east coast, we haven't forgotten about you, 54 in Jacksonville, 50 degrees in Gainesville, and you can see where the front kind of washes out warmer temperatures to the south and the peninsula in the mid-60s for Tampa and Orlando. Now, the futurecast, well, what are these temperatures going to do? Cooler air filters in through the night. Watch these temperatures really plummet. 39 in Montgomery for tonight. And then by tomorrow night, cooler air staying in place across the southeast. High pressure is in control across the Tennessee River Valley. And it's going to be breezy too, with winds out of the north, cool, dry, and the winds will be an issue as we head into Friday and even Saturday. Notice though, the peninsula of Florida staying on the warm side, 65 in Tampa and 78 for Friday evening. A nice night to head out on South Beach. Tawana and Troy though, I hear you have some interesting news on pets.
Yes, we do. We have 3 ways to keep your pets safe in the winter.
Pets are important to Tawana, but the first way to protect your pet is from the cold weather is to keep them inside. Of course, animals, they're just like us, as far as they can, be harmful when they are out there alone in the cold weather. Yes,
definitely. So one thing to do to keep your pet safe in the cold weather is to keep them inside and also keep them dry, because wet fur, that can be bad.
That can be really, really bad.
And the second way, to avoid the chemicals of winter, such as antifreeze and rock salt. They're poisonous to animals.
Yes, and the third way and the final way to keep your pet safe and loving, as pets usually are, is severe weather. And in that case, if you're, especially any major winter events, you want to make sure that they are inside, or you have to leave, you do have an evacuation plan for them. And now let's toss it yet again to Alex. Alex, just tell us more about this weather.
This weather in the local area looking once again very nice, and I like what you were talking about, the pets. It's always good to keep our loved ones, even the ones that can't talk, our little furry critters, also safe. However, we're seeing 71 degrees with a lot of cloudy conditions. That humidity sitting a little higher at 73%. However, that's going to drop once the cold front makes its final passage over us. However, you can clearly see the greens off towards the northwest. That is where the cold front has since passed and giving us those cooler conditions and the warmer conditions behind me with the mid to upper 70s. Current dew point illustrates this. Like I said before, the upper 60s and lower 70s represent a lot more moist air. Once you start dipping into the 50s and 40s, that shows a little more drier and comfortable conditions. Not such a bad hair day for our ladies out there at FSU. Current winds mainly coming out of the North Marianas. Look at that, 16 miles an hour coming out of the northwest. Bainbridge, 13 miles an hour. And Tallahassee sitting a little windy too at 8 miles an hour. So it wasn't the best day to play solitaire out there. However, it was still feel nice and comfortable after that rainfall has since passed. And satellite radar once again showing these rainstorms and these showers since dissipating, looking once again cloudy for the most part, but those clear conditions are going to show up tomorrow. As the visible satellite fades away, you can see once again as it gets up right here, a lot of this white, thick clouds from the front. So you can clearly see when it passed us around maybe 3 to 4 o'clock. That's when it made its passage and has since dropped temperatures down. And it's going to drop temperatures down even further. I mean, 46 degrees. It's going to be a little different from what we felt midweek when temperatures were in the upper 50s. We still may have a slight chance of a shower here or there, but I don't think it's going to rain at all, folks. I think it's going to stay nice and clear. And for tomorrow's forecast, 71 degrees. It's going to be sunny, breezy, and cool. Might need a light jacket if you are a little chilly prone, I should say. I'm a fan of this cold weather, so I'll be wearing some nice shorts. However, winds coming out of the north or east at 10 to 15 miles an hour, so it's going to feel a little cooler than 71 degrees. For our 7-day forecast, what do we see? We see lows in the 40s, then dipping back to around seasonal, and then Wednesday and Thursday, that's where we're going to see the dramatic change with temperatures dipping near freezing. However, will that happen? It's still a little too far out to tell. However, our Veterans Day forecast is looking very nice with temperatures looking seasonal and not rain in the forecast as well. Guys?
Thanks, Alex. And speaking of the wind and the cold, we're going to be talking about some things that happened this day in weather history.
Weather history, people. We're going to go in chronological order all the way back to first 1913, back in probably my great-grandparents' days. And what happened then? Tell us, Tawana, what happened
in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Severe snowstorm. 36 inches of snow were dropped.
That is a lot of snow, isn't it, Tawana?
That is a tremendous amount of snow. That is halfway up my body.
It's probably like what a 6 or 7-year-old toddler would be like.
Absolutely covered in snow. But moving on up to 1940 in Tacoma, Washington, 31-mile-an-hour winds destroyed a bridge there.
Yes, and the highest wind that was recorded was 31 miles per hour. And of course, usually we think 31 miles per hour is not that strong, but really, it's especially as you go higher. The higher the buildings are, the stronger the winds, and it collapsed the Tacoma, one of the bridges in Tacoma. So really, just is a very strong winds back then.
It's absolutely crazy. But if we look at our 7-day forecast, you see 71 for our high tomorrow. Absolutely beautiful day, sunny skies. We will have those colder temperatures and the blustery winds, so make sure you are prepared for that when you go out for tomorrow. But absolutely perfect weekend ahead for us, guys.
I know I'm going to be outside on Landis Green playing soccer. But if you're bored at home or you don't have anything to do, you can like us on Facebook.com/FSU Weather, or you can go on Twitter.com and follow us /FSU Weather.
And watch us on live stream as well. I am Tawana Andrew.
And I'm student meteorologist Troy Fields, and I hope you all have a safe night. And if you're not doing anything, please go outside and enjoy this nice weather.